If someone just got their camera, they're a beginner, how would you suggest they make their first dollars?
If you want to be a photographer, put the work in. Go to the people close to you and be like, hey, I have this service that I'm providing now. I'm getting better at it. I'm maybe not the best, but like I would love to be able to provide that service to you if that's something you do.
How do you feel you were able to stand out?
So it was a really hard grind. I made a decision to drop out of school.
All right, so well, we're rolling. So one thing I always start everything out with is just talk about your journey. You know, how did you get where you're at now, and where did you start?
Well, that's definitely a loaded question.
Yeah.
What do you want to know first? What do you want to know specifically?
I just let people talk about the most important parts they think, because it seems that what they say is what's the most important parts of their journey to them. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll start back in college.
Okay.
I'll try to get through it quick, but basically. I was studying to be a physical therapist in college. Played sports all my life. Played basketball. I'm a hooper. So,
okay, yeah, same. I am too.
Oh heck yeah, bro! Yeah. What position?
I played point guard. We just did a summer league this summer, and I mean everyone else on the team was kind of horrible. I'm not gonna lie. So I was dropping like 40 points a game, but we were still losing. But it was fun.
He's out here like MJ. I was a shooting guard.
Okay.
So yeah, shooting guard and a little bit of point guard. Mm-hmm. I know I don't look it. I look more like a football player, but my dad didn't let me play football. He was like he played rugby, so he's like, you're not jeopardizing your brain, you're not jeopardizing your body. And I was like, all right, fine. But anyway, that led me to an understanding of like, oh, I want to help people. You know, I've always wanted to help people. Mm-hmm. And so I was just like, okay, I'll be a physical therapist. So I went to school for that. And then as I get into that, I really learned more that I like psychology. I like the brain, how it works. I like social psychology, how people function. And so I switched my major to concentrate into sports psychology. Okay. That whole time, like in college, I had a buddy of mine, and we just started picking up the camera together. My oldest sister is a wedding photographer, so I always knew that there was an ability to make money with a camera. I just didn't know what that was. And so I just picked up a camera, and like anybody else, just started shooting. Photography was my first love. And yeah, it just kind of opened my eyes a little bit to even just at the smallest scale, like the amount of money that you can make, you know, a couple $100 here, a couple $100 here. Yeah. Just for, you know, taking some photos and putting your artistic spin on it. I think at the beginning it was just more like the ability to open the eyes of someone who doesn't really know what they truly look like and show them the beauty of, what they look like. Because a lot of people are scared of even just getting their photo taken. Yeah. So the ability to be like, yo, you actually look amazing. Mm-hmm. And get them in their natural like state of beauty is super cool. So just started doing that, and coming up on in between sophomore and junior year, I was paying my way through college. So I was working like 2 jobs plus freelancing photo, and it was a grind, dude. I was up from like 7 a.m, sometimes earlier. I was a valet driver, so I was working late until about midnight on average. So I wouldn't get home until 1, go to sleep, get up at 6 or 7, go to college, do the whole thing. So it was a really hard grind, and I had told myself I didn't want to go into debt, so I wasn't trying to go into debt. But essentially it got to the point where I needed to take a step back for like a semester. So I did, and that led me to kind of get into the creative work a little more. And when I did that, I really started to realize the difference for me from being in a classroom and learning about something that I loved, you know, like I love the human brain, but just being in a classroom and learning that way, just for whatever reason, didn't sit right with me. And so when I started learning about this other thing called photography, called the creative world, it just, I don't know, like something in me jumped, and I was like, this is it. Like, this is what I want to learn, and I feel like this can help me have a positive impact on the world. And so I made a decision to drop out of school and pursue it full time. I didn't know exactly what that looked like, you know? Yeah. But all I knew was that God had a plan for me, and my ability to trust that and receive like a very unexplainable piece about the path that I was choosing to go down. Like that's what was really setting me on the right path, and that's what was really solidifying like my confidence in what I was doing. And so I just kept going down that path, and it's led me to so many opportunities, even just so many opportunities to meet people. I think that's why this is so cool for you to be doing, bro, because to be able to just sit down and chat with people and build relationships and learn how to like serve people well is probably the best thing that you can do. And it's what we all need to do, I think, a little bit more, is just serve people more than trying to like take from other people.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Especially social media. I feel like everyone's trying to get something out of it. It's like just give to the people that watch, and they'll like that. Yeah.
The whole all the trends and everything. You know, I don't want to get like cheesy with it, but trends are dope. I've done trends, but I think people get so wrapped up in just like, oh, social media. I have to do this for social media, rather than I have this gift that God's given me, and I get to use it to serve other people. And social media just so happens to be one avenue that I can do that with.
Yeah.
So many people get caught up with like, oh, I have to make it here. I have to make it here. I have to get this amount of followers. And at the end of the day, Instagram, Mark Zuckerberg can just snap his fingers and turn the whole thing off, and we're back to square one. So I think if you're putting your faith in that, and you're putting your identity in whether or not you get a certain amount of likes or views, whether or not somebody like thinks highly or doesn't think very highly of what you're doing, it's just gonna like bring you to the end of yourself.
Yeah, I agree. Everyone watching, diversify your social media avenues, because I've had times where like, I mean, I have like 21,000 followers, which is decent, a decent following. And
it's more than me.
I've had Instagram like say, like just random messages pop up on Instagram, like we've detected certain activities on your account, like you might get banned type stuff. And I'm like,
bro, what are you doing
scary.
out here?
I don't know. It was just like random things. I think I had ManyChat linked, and they found ManyChat linked as like a weird thing. Yeah. And they were telling me like automations could get my account banned. So like that type of stuff, you just got to be wary of that. Like go on YouTube, go on other platforms, make sure you diversify.
100%. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, you got to make sure that that your voice is being heard across like different platforms as well.
Exactly. Yeah. So you went from college, working 2 jobs, and then you decided to drop out, and well, not drop out, but not do that semester, and it kind of took you in a
it was a slippery slope. I was like, oh, maybe I'll take a semester off, and then I was like, no, I'm completely done. I'm never going back. Yeah. It was interesting though. You probably have a question, but I'll just say like, I don't know. The way God works in my life is really weird, right? Because initially I was like, oh, I'm going to step away from this because I don't have enough money to pay for the next semester, and I need to take a little break so that I can keep going. But I think that was just God's way of getting me out of school to have a newer perspective on what my life meant, what I needed to do with my life. And then I realized that was outside the confines of school. And that confirmed for me, because in the middle of that semester off, when I was making that decision to go back or not, you know, a lot of my family was like, you should go back, you should finish, you know, you're already halfway done, all this stuff. And I just felt like this deep sense of like unfulfillment from it, and deep sense of like, I need to step away. And it got confirmed when my roommate at the time, his aunt, who we had become close with, I'd become close with, heard about me stepping away, invited me over, and was like, hey, I heard about your financial like troubles with paying for school. You know, I love your work ethic. I love the way that you've interacted with me and interacted with other people. And like, I love to give back to the community. And she was like, I want to pay for the rest of your school and your master's degree if you go to it. And I just sat there and remember like sitting there, like her saying that to me should have put me in a place of like, oh, heck yeah, let's do it. And I wasn't there. I was just like, here's the answer for my seeming problem that I have. And I still don't feel comfortable going back to school. And that's when it clicked for me. I was like, yeah, I don't think I need to go back to school. Like, that's not where I need to be.
Yeah, no, I mean, I can agree. I can feel that. My family was telling me they would pay for me to go to school. I was like, I don't want to go to school. Like, it's not my plan. It's not what I feel. I'm not going to have you pay for something I'm not driven to do.
Yeah,
like, I'm 100%. Not going to be driven
Yeah, it's a waste of money at that point.
Such a waste of money.
Yeah. on their end too, you know? Like, why would they pay for something if you're not going to take it seriously and actually study and get the most out of it?
Exactly.
Like, it's so weird that we view college as this thing where we're like, oh yeah, we'll throw money at it, even if you don't know what to do. Meanwhile, with any other resource in the world or any other thing where you're like, I'm going to pay for this course or this program to get me better at something. I'm going to pay, you know, a personal trainer to train me so I can get more fit. You mull over that decision so hard.
Oh, I know.
And you're like, do I actually want to spend money here? Or am I just like blowing smoke and actually don't want to do the work?
Yeah.
But with college, we just like, yeah, go throw money at it. I mean, I'm not saying nobody should go to college, but it's definitely something where I think more thought needs to go into it, you know, and I don't think it's anything shameful to not go to college.
Yeah, no, which everyone should understand. It's like, if you have a plan and that's your plan and you feel that you want to go to college and like that's what you need to get where you want to be, then do it. 100%. But if you want to pursue your own thing, don't be afraid to pursue your own thing.
And you can always go back to college too.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're going to throw money at this point in time,
could do it later.
8 years down the road, you can probably throw money again. Obviously, it might be a little harder because you're not as like free and able to do anything that you want.
Yeah.
But that should give you even more motivation to go do something and fail at it, because if you fail, what are you going to do? Go back to square one where you started? Great.
Exactly.
Most people are not really getting started until like their late 20s anyway, and not getting quote unquote ahead of in life. So
yeah,
you got nothing to lose if you're 18, 19, 20 years old.
Exactly. That's how I felt too.
Yeah, bro. It's exciting to see. I mean, I just met you, but it seems like you're pursuing that and actually like doing something that you love, which is amazing.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course.
Coming off of college and then deciding you were done with that, do you want to talk about a little where you are now and kind of what you do to sustain yourself, or what you have done to sustain yourself after that? Yeah,
so went through a little bit of a like 2-3 year stint where I was like doing freelance, but also working for a tech startup. My buddy had founded a company, and so I stepped in as a role of like a marketing and like head creative and stuff. But I'm 2 years post that, 2 years post that, 2.5 years. And I've been running my production company ever since. So awesome. I've really gotten into documentary filmmaking, which is something I never thought I would do. But stepping into the video space, 3 years ago, because I was kind of forced to with the whole tech startup thing, I had to learn everything. Like I had to learn how to make logos, like build brands, everything.
Yeah.
And so jumping into video kind of led me down a road of like documentary filmmaking. And so that's what I do now. I make documentary films. My production company does, a lot of different like high level event recap, storytelling for companies. I have like a small editing agency as well. Awesome. And then I host a podcast called Created to Create, and I go around and talk to people, have similar conversations like this, but also geared towards just like a deeper purpose of life. That's kind of why I have been talking the way I do, because I truly believe that we're called to do things for a specific reason. So it's like, for me, I could have gone down the road of becoming a physical therapist or a sports psychologist. I chose to go down this road. God has a very designed plan for me. And so the reason that in that moment I felt so much peace stepping away is because he already knew that through this plan, and I don't know like the half of it, but I know a little bit of it, and I feel blessed and like be able to experience what he's done in my life and experience like the impact even that like he's had through me on other people.
Yeah.
And I see that and I'm like, oh wow, that's what you meant by like me going down a path of creative work, filmmaking, has put me in so many different specific rooms with people, situations with people, where through what God is doing in my heart, he's softening my heart, he's sanctifying me, he's making me a person who thinks about others more than myself, which is insane, because I naturally think of myself first. He's put me in places where people needed to be listened to, cared about, in very specific circumstances, and I happen to be that person. Why? Because I went down this path of becoming a filmmaker. I would have never been in those rooms if I didn't do that. And so I'm a firm believer that that's a fact of life, that God has that designed purpose for everybody. So it's my goal to help people like understand that, and then also realize what that is for themselves. What is God calling you to do specifically? Like, are you called to be a filmmaker, or are you called to go become a construction worker, because that's what's going to be most impactful for people around you in your life? And at the end of the day, everything comes down to the relationships that you have, the people in your life, and how you mold those and how you like create those, cultivate them. So that's like why that's kind of a goal for me is to kind of continue to do that, and just whether it's through a podcast or something else, just continue to encourage people that like they can be bold with their dreams, because their dreams are put there for a reason. It's not just random.
No, that's an awesome ideology. I feel like, I mean, I can tell that you're really passionate about it too, because it looks like you could talk about it forever. Like,
yeah,
you
bro.
have unlimited thoughts about that.
Let's roll the rest of the pod.
No, that's awesome though.
Yeah.
Like, that is such a cool calling to have, and it's crazy you went from such like a different industry of wanting to be like a physical therapist or psychologist, which I would say podcasting isn't that far off from psychology, because like you have to know how to guide a conversation and talk to people.
You're right, bro. It's crazy how he like brought that around, you know, because I truly felt the deep connection to psychology at that point, but I just didn't know, like all I knew was that you could go study it in school and then pick like maybe a specific concentration afterwards. Yeah. But what I'm learning now is like there's psychology in everything in life. Exactly. So the love for psychology was like very meaningful then, and he kind of brought it back around once I kind of went through the weeds a little bit.
Yeah, which being good in psychology could help you in business, could help you in conversations. Just like it's kind of like
storytelling.
Storytelling. It's like a little superpower to have in the background. So that's awesome that you're passionate about psychology.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So having these companies now and having this video production company, how do you feel you were able to stand out, and how would you tell someone, another creative or filmmaker, that they could stand out in the market now? Because I mean, we all know there's like a million creators, there's a million people, everybody has a camera.
It's saturated.
Now. Yeah. So like, how do you think people can stand out?
Well, obviously, like, be the best that you can be at what you want to do, right? Like, if you want to be a photographer, put the work in, and be the best that you can be. But at the end of the day, you are getting hired for who you are as a person. If you're a trustworthy person, if you're a likable person, if you're someone who can handle stress, that's who you're getting hired for. And in a world where so many people can do, you know, the same or similar things, the skills are the same way, people are going to hire you because they either know you or they've heard from other people who you are and how you handle certain things. And so if you want to stand out, then be a person of integrity, be a person that works hard, and be a person that relates well to people. And you do that by serving people. You do that by like thinking of others first. And I think if you do that, you're going to be connected to the right opportunities. I would much rather work with the people that I work with now than have like a deal with like the biggest company, have a deal with Apple and like work with Apple all the time. Maybe I would like to work with Apple if I'm working with like specific people, but it's much more about the people that you work with than like the projects that you do. Yeah. So I think that's what you do. And when you do that, then you start to get more and more opportunities. And when that opportunity comes around, that Apple opportunity comes around, then you're going to be like ready to go, and people are going to know you for who you are, and that's why you're going to get hired for it. Yeah, so. Which is sick. And I feel like now with social media, you have a lot of opportunity to express who you are through that, and people can find you that way, which is cool. But the best way is always to meet people in person, in my opinion. Always meet someone in person. Always. Social media is a cool tool, though. Yeah. I mean, are you kidding me? I've met people from all around the world. Yeah. I still connect with them because of social media. And, you know, it's like I have their numbers and everything too, and we text and call, but at the same time, it gives us the ability to have relationships are just like a bunch of connecting points, right? Some people you connect like once a month, some people every day, some people like maybe every 6 months, a year, 3 years. And if you have more little connecting points, it creates like a better foundation. It starts to create a better foundation for a relationship. And so social media just allows you to have these bigger connecting points and then be able to like share what you're doing in your life, other people sharing what they're doing. And then you can like slide up on a DM here and be like, hey bro, like this is so epic, congratulations. Or just like, yo, that sunset looks sick, hope you're having a good time. You just have these small little connecting points, and it just builds like a more solid foundation for a friendship.
Yeah, which is also an opportunity we all have now. So it's
yeah. I love social media and hate it too, but I try to use it for like the best of the opportunity.
Yeah, so. Which everyone should try to take advantage of it. It's just
100%.
hard. Don't let it become.
If it's toxic, delete it. Yeah. Like it's not worth you being in a terrible mental state. That's for sure. Yeah, you should definitely separate yourself from it if you're
consumed by
it. Drained. Yeah, 100%.
Cool. So next thing that I've been asking everyone is, if someone just got their camera, they're a beginner, and they got their first camera, how would you suggest they make their first dollars doing filmmaking, or whether it be photography, any creative field? How do you suggest they make their first dollars?
Well, there's so many different ways.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good answer for you. There's literally so many ways you can make money from a camera. It depends on what you want to do, but I guess if you want to shoot photos, just start with the people close to you. Don't necessarily ask them to invest money, and like again, it's all about serving people. So it's like, go to the people close to you and be like, hey, I have this service that I'm providing now. I'm getting better at it. I'm maybe not the best, but like I would love to be able to provide that service to you if that's something you need. And then just start there and then build relationships from that. If you do one photo shoot and the friend that hired you, or the client that hired you, loved it, then be like, hey, like I would really appreciate it if you spread my name to the people around you. And if anybody says that they need a photographer, I'd love for you to like slide my name in there. Yeah. And if you're in a place where you serve that person well, then they're probably going to do that. And so I think word of mouth is definitely the best way to go, because you create a stronger form of relationships. But you can also cold email, obviously. You can just throw 100 balls at a wall. I don't know what to say there, but like you can just throw darts at a wall. You can throw 100 darts at a wall and like 2 will stick, and you can play a numbers game. But pick one skill, start getting good at that, and then offer that skill, and then build off of that. Yeah,
I agree with that. No, that's definitely true. One thing I said in the last one we did, or 2 interviews ago, was if you're going to do that free work, or you're going to do that stuff with family, you're going to reach out to those people, try to make that work geared towards what path you want to pursue. Like if you want to be a photographer, then take pictures for them.
100%.
If you want to be like a documentary filmmaker, then try to
make
do
a documentary
fake documentary with someone.
100%.
Just gear your fake portfolio to that work.
Yep.
Yeah, that's like the best way to go.
The biggest players in the game still do it. They make spec work so that they can go get, jobs with specific companies. The whole idea of spec work, like I think we have a skewed view sometimes of it now. We're like, oh, let me just make this thing so I have it on my portfolio. But the reason why companies make spec work, and they put like production companies will spend thousands and thousands of dollars, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars to make a spec ad, is because they know if we spend $50,000 to make this spec ad for Mercedes-Benz, and we go travel to this specific location, we do the specific shoot, and we show that to Mercedes-Benz, we have a very high possibility of beating out any other competitor, because most other competitors aren't going to spend $50,000 on this. But we're going to put an investment here to do this specific spec ad for this specific pitch, so that then they will give us the contract of however much, $500,000. Yeah. And so at that point, like they're investing $50,000 so they can get $500,000 for their company and like make the actual ad. And then they're like, oh, well, we've already done the ad and we know how to do it, so we're just going to do it again. And it's like cakewalk, you know? So creating spec ad on what you were saying, it's like if you want to be a documentary filmmaker, make a documentary film and then use that as leverage to like make another documentary film. And then maybe someone's like, hey, you're good at this. I have this story that we've been really wanting to tell. How much would it cost to do it? Yeah. And then you get to start setting those prices, and then you start making money from there. Exactly. I because you're speaking of documentary films, like for me, I was fortunate enough to have a nonprofit here in Chicago that just believed in my ability to tell a story and was able to kind of like grow and scale with me a little bit on the logistics and financial side of like making documentary films. But like the first one I made from was, I think, for $1,500 maybe. And I had never really made a documentary film, but I was like, hey, I think I could do it. And they're like, cool, like, let's see what you can do. Yeah. And so I did it. And then we were able to like up the budget the next time because I was like, I learned this, this, and this. I think I could implement these things in the next one. And they're like, cool, yeah, let's run it.
Yeah.
So I think if you're starting small and you're proving the concept that you can do something, then people are willing to work with you. And if it's not the same person, you can go to the next person and be like, hey, I did this, and I would love to like tell this story for you, and it'll cost this much. What do you think?
Which is sick.
And then they see a proof of concept because you've already done it. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's very powerful. The next thing I wanted to ask was, what has been, or what do you feel has been your biggest accomplishment so far in your creative journey?
Are we talking just like career-wise?
It could be career-wise, or it could be a lot of people talk about, they've grown in their spirituality, or like they've learned more from their journey, or like they just feel like they can handle better situations now.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's where I was going to go with it. I would say my biggest accomplishment is growing closer in my relationship with God, because I look at everything in life, and I could do like a really cool job, and it's like so epic, put it on my resume, my portfolio, whatever, and maybe in 50 years I look back at it and still like think it's pretty cool. But when I look at my relationship with God, that's like a constant changing and evolving thing, and the closer I get to him, the more joy I feel in life. And to me, joy is the ultimate like dub in life. If you get joy and you have sustainable joy, you could be hit with absolutely any hardship, and you're going to be able to just be not happy. You're going to be able to be joyful and just find beauty in whatever pain you're going through. Find beauty in the tree that still looks like absolutely beautiful, even though you're depressed as hell. It's just it's an interesting thing, and I think it's just one of the most valuable things, and it's something that nobody can take away from you.
Yeah.
The only way that people can take that away from you is by killing you, and that's a little like, but it's true. Yeah. And if you have that sustainable joy inside of you, people can do whatever they want to you, and you just like, you're okay because I know, like in my life, it's like I'm okay because I know that I've been saved by the creator of the universe. I'm chosen by the creator of the universe, and that he sent his son to die on the cross so that I can just be, I can be loved, accepted, but also live a life free of shame and free of guilt. And that's the stuff that takes you down. So for me, the whole creative journey has brought me closer to God. So that's like a big accomplishment for me.
That's awesome.
And nothing can really like compare to that, to be honest. Yeah. If God were to come to me and say, I don't want you to be a documentary filmmaker anymore. I want you to go, I don't know, do whatever, go be a real estate agent, go do this, go do that. I would be down for it, and then I would just be super grateful that I got to like have the time in the creative journey.
Yeah.
Because for me, that's like not like the end goal necessarily.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, awesome. Yep. Well, that's awesome that you're able to experience that through creativity and being on this journey.
Yeah, bro. And community too. Yeah. I've met my closest friends through my creative journey.
That's sick.
So, like, you can't, like, community is everything. And so to be able to have that and to be able to meet those friends, like, because I picked up a camera is pretty sick.
Yeah. And how long have you been doing it again?
I picked up a camera in 2019.
Okay, sick.
Yeah.
So like
5 years.
5 years. Yeah, that's awesome. That's
not
even like insanely long either. So the fact that you've gotten to experience so much and already meet people like that is so cool.
Huge blessing. Yeah. Are you kidding me?
So cool.
Yeah. I have so many talented friends, and I attribute all of my opportunities to just the people that I've met along the way. It's definitely, it's nothing light. Like, I wouldn't be in, again, like the rooms that I'm in if it wasn't for like those people that I met.
Which is awesome.
So, yeah.
That's sick. Mm-hmm. Cool. So last thing I ask everyone is, what is their plans coming up? It could be career, it could be outside of your career, just whatever you feel like your plans are coming up on the end of this year and the next year. Like if you have a big thing going on or a project.
I think main goal is just attack all the projects we have going on with the company with the best that we can. Serve the clients well. It's just Gluntz Creative. It's my last name.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
super simple. Coming out of the tech startup, I was just like, you know what, like, I'm not going to overcomplicate this.
Yeah, it's like just get it rolling.
I just need to start doing things.
Yeah.
So yeah, just doing that, and then I just am really pushing myself to just reach a new level with the podcast and continue to push the grain with like the people that I'm interviewing and
awesome.
The stories that I'm telling there. And then there are a few like documentary projects that I want to work on as well. So we'll see what happens there. I'm not going to say specifics right now, just because none of them are like set in stone or anything.
Yeah.
But I'll let you know. Cool. I'll let you know if we get any of them. Yeah.
That'd be sick. We'll probably see it somewhere too.
You might.
Someone might see it.
I'm also I'm finishing a documentary about my grandmother's life, which is a pretty big deal for me.
That's awesome.
And so to get that finished is a big goal of mine by the end of the year. Yeah.
Where you drop it at? Do you drop them on YouTube or do you drop them?
Yeah, that'll most likely drop on YouTube. I'll link that in my Instagram and share it with people.
Okay.
That project's just like very near and dear to my heart. So it's like mostly for my family, but it's also like I really want to share with people who my grandma was and the ability of hers to just persevere through so many hardships. Also, just love on people like none other. She was really the glue in my family. I have 24 cousins. There's like 12 great grandchildren, lots of aunts and uncles, obviously.
Yeah.
And she was the glue for my family.
It's a big family.
And massive, bro.
Yeah.
Our reunions are crazy.
I got about one cousin, so
it's dang.
Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Dude, I love my cousins. They're like built-in best friends.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah, I want to finish that documentary and get her story told.
That's sick. Yeah, I did one documentary style thing on my journey so far, and it was our friend group was graduating, and I was just like secretly recording the whole senior year.
That's sick, bro.
And I just did like a graduation documentary and recorded the whole year.
That's awesome. I want to see it.
I could send it to you. It's unlinked. I don't know. It's unlisted, and there might be some crazy stuff in there, but I don't really care. I'll just send it to you.
Yeah, bro. I don't care. Yeah.
It'd be funny.
That'd be cool to see. I love seeing people. Like I love noticing as well. Just like noticing when my friends are hanging out, like taking a step back. Sometimes I'll actually physically remove myself. Like I've been finding myself doing this at like birthday parties. Mm-hmm. You know, when everybody comes around, they get the cake and everybody gathers. I've been finding myself like stepping away, like 100 yards away, and just like watching it from afar. And it's one of the most surreal experiences. You just feel like you're watching a memory. And it's really cool to like notice when like things like that are happening, when like life is happening around you.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
It's cool to step away and like really take it in to make sure you're enjoying the moment and everything.
Yep, 100%.
Cool, man. Well, that was great. That was a great episode. That was honestly just an awesome interview. You definitely had some good insights for people.
Oh, thank you, bro. Praise God.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you for doing this. This is sick. Cool. And yeah, I mean, you're 19 and pushing yourself to do uncomfortable things and interview people, and it's commendable.
Yeah. So we're going to link everything that he mentioned. I'm going to link his Instagram. So if you guys want to, whenever you do drop that documentary, it'll be on his page. So he'll be linked below. That's the end of this one, guys. See you in the next one.
Later.